coming from a very good own friend and our colleague, James Ohiba-Makio. Though he's not here, but he's doing the watching from the house. And he says that this is one of the poorest final.
this is in our street balance. This is campaign. This is from an Arsenal fan who is going trophyless at the end of the season, placing second and having nothing to show for it. And Spurs, who are 17th in the Premier League, would win a trophy and be in the same Champions League that Arsenal will be in. So I understand it's just campaign. Next year, your club has another chance. Maybe you could sack your coach and hire a winner. Ange Postecoglou, maybe when he sacked from Spurs, you should hire him. He's a winner. He wins in every club he goes to, and maybe he will change the situation for the Gunners. And it will be interesting for Tottenham to win an Europa League, and when the name was changed, and still Arsenal has not won any trophy in Europe. Makion, I only wish you well as a young Ghanaian who is budding. You are living in Ghana with all its challenges. You decided to support Arsenal as well.
So I think I have to leap to his defense. He's not here. He's not here to defend himself. So the Gunners. Well, so many messages still coming through. Let's go to Dan Suman. This is coming from Empress. Empress says that United forever. We are down, but we've still got 45 minutes. So that is from Empress all the way in Dan Suman, who is doing the watch along with us here on Sports World on ABC. This is also coming from the Volta region once again, from Pando to be precise, and it's coming from Yawavi Cuciano, and she says that I'm a United fan and I think that Manchester United have just got the edge. Wow, let's see. I don't support any of them. I don't support any of them. Let's go to Tema. This is coming from Tema. This is coming from Joshua Nakai. So this is Joshua Nakai speaking to us from Tema, and he says that Tottenham Hotspurs, I am a big Arsenal fan, but I love what Tottenham Hotspurs is doing. It is either the bridge is broken, but yeah, you know the bridge is not broken. It is happening in Bilbao, in Spain. Let's see how it pans out. But don't forget that Manchester United, they are comeback kings. Don't forget, they are comeback kings. And even as I remind you about Manchester United being comeback kings, do not forget that Betway Influencer is part of us here on Sports World on ABC. What you need to do is time to get rewarded as the next biggest betting influencer with Betway. Place bets and share your codes with friends, family, and loved ones. And I've even advocated that even in your chat groups, because there you have a lot of members. Once you share it, you get a chance to earn 4% of wager, and what it means is that your cash automatically increases. Start betting, sharing, and winning with Betway Influencer, exclusive to only one betting company, that is Betway. Don't forget that this particular package is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana, and terms and conditions do apply. Betway, that is the part I love most. Get way more, lot of money for you on Betway. So it is halftime, and very soon the producer will be giving us a lot of graphics to take a look at.
It's interesting for Spurs, and it's interesting because a lot, when I did the Vox Pop on area take with the fans, a lot of them were supporting Spurs, and a lot of them mentioned a few names, and it's interesting. A lot of them said 2-0, 3-1 for Spurs, and Spurs have taken the lead. So it seems like the first part of their prediction has come to pass. Spurs have scored one goal. Now it's now up to Spurs to score a second or third goal, and then the prediction of a lot of people would come to pass. And so it's interesting for Ange Postecoglou. He said that in the second season at every club he has been, he has won a trophy, and it's almost as if his promise, even though ludicrous at the time, is almost as if in the next 45 minutes, if things don't change, his promise and his statement he made a few months ago would come to pass.
Well, Soti has spoken at length. This time we go for a short break. Don't go anywhere. It's still watch along. Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspurs, very importantly in Bilbao. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
So thank you for sticking and staying with us here on ABC News Ghana Television as we entail you with that lovely watch along that is happening all the way in Spain. Europa League final between two English teams who have dealt each other tonight, at least to ensure that they win something for their fans. And at the moment, after 45 minutes, it is Tottenham Hotspurs to Brendan Johnson who is leading, and we hope that the Red Devils will be able to continue the upset in the next 45 minutes. But until then, we'll get opportunity to see a lot of the statistics and a lot of the graphic work of what has been happening as far as the first 45 minutes is concerned. Well, you talk about position, and Manchester United, though they've seen most of the ball, they have played 63% as compared to 37% for Tottenham Hotspurs. But at the business end, which is the most important, it is Tottenham Hotspurs who have taken a crucial lead through the Wheel International. So that is the graphics there for you to have a sight of. We also talk about the total number of shots played so far. It's been 3-5. Again, favoring Manchester United, who have had 5 shots as compared to 3 for Tottenham Hotspurs. We talk about the shot being on target. Interestingly, United have had 2 of those 5 shots on target, and also talk about corner kick and the rest. It's also sliding in favor of Tottenham Hotspur, who have 4 corner kicks, just 2 for Manchester United. And this is the time to bring in my revered colleague, the man who is tagged as Italian CRR, Professor Eugenio Florisotti. I mean, interesting statistics there from the first half.
Yeah, so it showed that United dominated a lot of the ball, but where it truly mattered most, Spurs had the upper hand, and this is what we need in the final. You could control the ball you want, but when it really matters most, do you have what it takes to finish and prove to be the difference? Clearly, we've seen that Tottenham, the tactics that Ange Postecoglou tried to employ in this game has worked. To sit back, hope that they pounce on the counter-attacking situation and use the flanks, flicking the crosses. However, I even thought it would have been a Solanke or Richarlison to head the ball, but someone nobody even expected, of all people, Brennan Johnson, to find his way into the center forward position and then slot the ball. This is something he has done a lot of the time, but for him to now veer into the striker's position, that's where the shocker to me was. But I think for Ange Postecoglou, he'll be happy with the first half, save a few times where they seemed jittery at the back, and so I think the next thing he needs to do is to solidify his defense, try and get an early goal, take off one attacker, bring a central midfielder and bring another defender, start with a back five, a four-man midfield, and maybe one attacker up top just to be at the top, and just in case a third opportunity comes in. But for United as well, it's going to be more difficult for them, because for now Spurs knew that even with a goal they could win this game and win their first trophy in 17 years, and so for them it's going to be quite easier just to pass the ball around, try and just contain United and try and get a second goal through a counter-attacking situation. So it's interesting second half for both teams.
Yes, in fact we are getting ready for the second half. But interestingly, when you take a look at both starting lineup in terms of the 22 players who are on the field at the moment, can you guess who is the best performer so far? Can you guess?
Initially I'd have said Amad Diallo.
Okay, so is it now?
But with the goal, then it's Brennan Johnson.
No. It's Harry Maguire.
Interesting. Well,
8.0 rating so far after the first 45 minutes.
Well, he was the 1v1 so far with Dominic Solanke. He's come up top. He's made sure that throughout the game, Solanke has been silent. Solanke tries to receive the ball with his back turned towards goal, then tries to turn the defender to face the goalkeeper. But so far, Harry Maguire has been resolute, and so far he's made sure that Solanke has not had any clear-cut opportunity so far, so that's good for him. And maybe it's time to also look at the bench to see the players that both managers have and can call upon for both teams. I think they are returning very shortly.
All right, so they are just returning to the field, but even as they do that, we will still keep you posted with what is happening as far as the graphics are concerned. Interestingly, the worst performer in today's game has been Andre Onana with a very poor rating of 5.4. That's quite shocking. Yes, he's letting it go, and that certainly will affect his rating in today's game. And I don't know what you think about that, Soti.
I just think it's because of the goal. Once he concedes a goal in such a fashion, then it's already once you concede, your ratings drop, and so I think it's normal. This is a game where you can't blame anybody for anything. So once you're the goalkeeper, you concede a goal, then it's very likely that your ratings will drop. But already in just 40 seconds, we've seen a lot of the aerial duels. People are also down.
So those are some of the lovely moments we've seen so far in the game. You can see the situation that led to the goal, and the players saw Andre Onana just watching on, and they've been beaten to it over there. Yeah. Look at beautiful pictures all the way from the Estadio San Mamés in Bilbao.
So take a look at that picture. You see, Mickey van de Ven is higher than Casemiro. Vicario is also higher than Casemiro. So in every aerial duel, Casemiro is even not a striker. He's a midfielder, but he's the one who has risen highest. And if in another opportunity, then the next person is Harry Maguire as well. And so that's why United, the only chance for them cannot be through aerial duels. They have to work their ball through their feet. And unfortunately for them, once Spurs have taken the lead, it's going to be very difficult for them to try and stage a comeback. But it's interesting to see what Ruben Amorim would bring on in the second half. Remember, on his bench, he's got Christian Eriksen. Eriksen is a former Tottenham Hotspurs player from Spurs. He went to Inter Milan, won the Scudetto with the Inter Milan, returned to Brentford before coming to Manchester United. And so is one player also who has ties to both clubs, and so
and it will be emotional night for him.
Emotional night for him
as a player. So that's a lovely picture right from there, and I'm sure you are just grasping that moment that led to Tottenham Hotspurs fans rejoicing throughout the entire world. But for United fans, at the moment, they'll bow down their head in shame and hope that their manager Ruben Amorim is able to cause a bit of havoc there in Bilbao. And it's 47 minutes, 2 minutes into the second half. It is still 1-0. Now, this is a very important graphic that we need to take a look at the moment. All-time assists, leaderboard. And Soti, can you run?
Yeah, so up top, we've got Bruno Fernandes, who plays for Manchester United. Is in this game. He's a player who is one of the most creative and most intelligent players I've seen ever in world football since I started following football. Kevin De Bruyne, Juan Mata is a player I also admire, and Bruno Fernandes is one of the most intelligent players I've ever seen. The second player is just one below him. That's Dries Mertens, formerly of Napoli, now plays for Galatasaray in the Turkish league. He plays also for the Belgian national team. Then we've got boys Doka with 17 assists as well. Then former Manchester United and former Chelsea midfielder Juan Mata with 16 assists. Then Filip Kostic, formerly of Frankfurt. He's also a Serbian international with 13 assists. Also with Juventus now. Then the big man I spoke about earlier, former Tottenham Hotspur, former Brentford, and former Inter Milan midfielder Christian Eriksen plays for the Denmark national team with 13 assists. And so two players in the Manchester United team are on the top assist of all times in terms of the Europa League, and so it's clearly that they have the men to try and stage a comeback for Manchester United.
Okay. You are trying to make a statement that is very synonymous to some parties in Ghana. We have the men.
Well, you know what?
But let's see if Manchester United have the men.
Well, you know what? Come to think of that, you know a prominent. Well,
so the next one is Man U's unbeaten, 14 games unbeaten. Soti.
Well, that's quite huge for them in this competition, and I think they are so far the only team in Europe that have remained unbeaten. Chelsea could have done that. Unfortunately, they lost to even a relative minnow in the Conference League, and so kudos to them. They've met difficult clubs. They've met Porto there. They've met Galatasaray. They've met Union Saint-Gilloise,
Olympique Lyon.
Difficult teams. They've met good teams, formidable teams in their various leagues. And they've managed to stay above, and so that's credit to them. Certain games were draws. Sometimes they also managed a win. Very important, especially against Lyon. That game looked like it was out of their hands, but they made sure that they stayed their comeback. Harry Maguire, very important in that game as well. And then making sure that they beat Iñaki Williams' athletic club, or Atletico Bilbao. Otherwise, would have seen a Ghanaian there, Iñaki Williams, playing at home in the Europa League final. That would have been very huge for them because they would have had the home support, and it would have been quite huge for them. Maybe a pivotal moment in helping them win a cup.
Yeah, so we've also got another exciting graphic as well. Undefeated champions, and we've seen the likes of Chelsea and other teams also in the frame.
So there we see Chelsea in the 2018-19 season. That was under Maurizio Sarri. That time Eden Hazard was there. I think a lot of Pedro and others, William Borges and others. Antonio Rudiger was at Chelsea at the time. That's when Callum Hudson-Odoi was bursting onto the scene. That's when Ruben Loftus-Cheek was also bursting on the scene. Barcelona's Andreas Christensen just burst onto the scene. There was Marcos Alonso as well. And so that's the 2018-19 season. They also met a bit of formidable teams. I remember they beat Frankfurt in the semi-final. Then the 2020-21 season, that's when Villarreal beat United in the final. And they also went on unbeaten as well. That team had Raul Albiol as their skipper. And then Pervis Estupiñán, who plays for Brighton and the Premier League as well. They had Gerard Moreno there as well. Then in the 2021-22 season, that was Frankfurt. Guess who their manager is? He's now the manager of Crystal Palace, Oliver Glasner. He was unbeaten in that. I think in that season they beat Barcelona in the semi-final to make it into the final. And Frankfurt won. So Oliver Glasner and Maurizio Sarri, as well as the former Villarreal manager, and so it's huge. Unfortunately, if United lose, then they don't make that record because then they would have been defeated in the final, where it really and truly mattered most. And so at the moment, Tottenham seem to be putting spanners in the works of United, so much so that this record will stand at 3 teams: Chelsea, Frankfurt, and Villarreal.
Well, let's now go to the man who is a part of today's game, a man who have gotten a lot of respect in Europe, Casemiro. You can see his numbers there, wearing 13 matches as far as the UEFA or that continent in Europe is concerned.
The Champions League.
What do you make of it?
Yeah, the apex of European football. Casemiro has made sure that he has been able to crack the code there. He has won as many as 5 Champions League trophies. Not a lot of players can boast of that. Even a few players would even boast with 1, but he has managed to amass 5 of that, and so that's huge for him. And he would love to add the Champions League, the Europa League trophy to that as well, and that would be huge if he's able to do that. On our screen now we have Dominic Solanke, who just moved from Bournemouth to the Premier League, from Bournemouth to Tottenham Hotspur this season, his first season in the Europa League. He scored 5 goals, registered 4 assists, so about 9 goal involvements in a few games for Tottenham Hotspur. And it would be nice to see him score in the final of this game as well, for him to win his first major club European competition. So that would be huge for Dominic Solanke and for Tottenham Hotspur, the Lily Whites.
Well, let's enjoy some of the action from the match a bit, where Tottenham Hotspur is leading at the moment, and 53 minutes played is still Tottenham Hotspur hanging on to that very important first half goal from Johnson, and it's free kick at the moment for Tottenham Hotspur to try to push their men up front a bit. Don't forget that they've got the likes of Yus Bissouma and the rest playing. It's floated down to the left-hand side, and it's Dougie on it, giving a bit of tough activity down there, the right-hand side from Lenny Euro. Just look at the crossing once again. Floated, came off the header of Richarlison. He was not the best of header, but he managed to pick his colleague. And United will have it back in their defensive cell. Harry Maguire is pressed to the far left-hand side, where they will try to use the track of Amad Diallo. There's a player who goes down, and the German referee once again, who is close to the action, will wait still for it. But just look at the sheer show of strength there, a pushing from behind as well.
Well, I told you about the fact that you always expect a lot of physicality from South American Africans. Rodrigo Bentancur plays for the Uruguayan national team, and so you always using either fair or foul means. If it's not the body, a bit of the body push, then it's an issue of pulling the shirt, and so it's expected. And so for the European referee for this game, he's got to be very vigilant, making sure that none of this escapes his vigilance, and so make sure that whichever player infringes against one player, he receives the requisite punishment for that.
But now let's talk about a bit of as the game was on. Let's talk about some familiar foes. We've seen Porto take on Braga. That game slided hugely in favor of Porto. Here's Manchester United taking on the English Premier League counterpart, that is Tottenham Hotspur. At the brink of halftime, it is Tottenham Hotspur that is leading. You go to other jurisdiction, we've seen Mönchengladbach take on Frankfurt. That game slided hugely, I think, in favor of Frankfurt also. So you look at the dominance, you look at the rivalry at the top of Europe's football. I think it's been so far exciting for you.
Well, I only question the timing of these games, because these were games that I would have watched all, but unfortunately, because of the timing, I cannot watch all. But after Frankfurt beating Mönchengladbach, Gladbach have been very poor in big games, and since Mamouche left Frankfurt, Hugo Ekitike has seemed to have been the man who is making sure that no one remembers Umar Mamouche, and so far they've done very well. There's also a player of Ghanaian descent, he's Ansgar Knauf. About 3 years ago, there was a conversation about him representing the Black Stars. Unfortunately, that didn't work out for him. For Porto as well, they are doing the Lord's work, and we hope to see them replicate that form in Europe. They always do well domestically, but we never see them replicate that form in the European league, and so we hope to see that from both clubs there. But remember when I said Spurs have their men, you said it was reminiscent of something. Do you know that the people who support Spurs in this country, Spurs, they don't have a lot of fans in this country. Can you name top people who support Spurs in this country?
Yes, your former president.
Exactly. So His Excellency, the former president, Nana Addo Dankwa is a Spurs fan, and if he was in Europe, I'm sure he would have loved to have supported Spurs by being in Bilbao, Spain, to support the club. but I'm sure he's had other issues. Remember the game I spoke about where where Spurs beat Ajax in that comeback in 2019? There was a video of President Akufo-Addo then in office actually watching the game and applauding the Spurs players when Lucas Moura scored the final goal for him. So I'm sure he will be in his cozy chair somewhere, taking it cool and watching the game to sort of excite himself and whip up his spirits. It's been long. Maybe he's older, so he was there in 1984 when Spurs won the UEFA Cup, and so it will be good for him between 1984 and 2025. He was far away from the presidency. From then to now, a lot has changed in his life. It will also be good for him to also win the Europa League as a fan for Tottenham Hotspurs. There are also a lot of fans. Our own friend Abel Frames is also a Spurs fan. Eric Alagide, the formerly of Instructorman FC and formerly of Karela, is also one of the big Tottenham fans.
A bit of problem there, but Tottenham Hotspurs lucky to get that one out of danger zone, and it's Lenny Euro who nearly came through for Manchester United to level matters back. It was a very flat way of crossing into the channel, proper A Keller, but again, goalkeeper Vicario bit into it, but that would not be Tottenham Hotspur's defense, keeping the eye stuck onto the ball and just flashed it off.
So, as I said, if you realize in every set piece where United are the ones taking charge, you realize you never see any of the attackers on the receiving end of the ball. Is either a defender in Harry Maguire or Lenny or the midfielder Casemiro. So I think it's something they need to look at in the market next season. They need to look for players who have the height, center forward with a bit of height. Maybe they've got Joshua Zexi on the bench who could help them but for now they seem to be struggling, and it seems to be that is the only way they could ever get a chance, because if they try any other chance they might not get it. And so I think for now Spurs, they look shaky in terms of a few of these attempts, and so far so good. They are lucky though to escape. Mason Mount in the thick of affairs trying to get a penalty, but so far no one pushed them to the floor, and so far it's a goal up for Tottenham Hotspur. Possibly also look at the bench and see the players that if Ange Postecoglou looks to his bench he could select. In the goalkeeper he has is Brandon Austin on the bench. He's also got another goalkeeper, Alfie Whiteman. He's got Kevin Danso, the Austrian centre-back who just came from RC Lens in France. He came in a general transfer window. Danso's parents are Ghanaians, but he plays for Austria. In the Euro 2024 tournament last year, he was an important figure for Austria, where they reached the knockout stages. Archie Gray, formerly of Leeds United, is also on the bench, a midfielder. If, in case Ange Postecoglou wants to form some defensive solidity, he's got Ben Davies, a very experienced player, was an important figure for the club in 2019 when they reached the final of the Champions League. He also got Jet Spence as well. He's got Human, so an attacker. There's also Matistel, who is from loan from Bayern Munich. There's also Wilson Odebe, Dane Scarlett, and there's also Oyindamola Ajayi. His parents are Nigerian, but he's English. There's Mikey Moore. So unfortunately, Lucas Beckval is injured, Radu Dragusin is injured, Fraser Foster is injured, and Antonin Kinski is injured. Dejan Kulusevski is injured, James Maddison injured, Sergio Reguilon is out, Dane Scarlett is out, Timo Werner is also out as well. So that's the injury list for Spurs. Let's go to United. In post on the bench, Alte Bandeye, Bayern there, there's Victor Lindelof there, there's Diego Dalot, Johnny Evans, Aiden Haven, Harry Amas, Christian Eriksen, formerly of Tottenham Hotspurs, Inter Milan and Brentford, Kobe Mainoo, whose parents are Ghanaian actually. Then there's Toby Collier, there's Joshua Zexi as well, who is a striker for them. There's Alejandro Garnacho. Then their injured players, Matthijs de Ligt and Lisandro Martinez.
But Soti, you've made mention of a very important player for them. That is Kobe Mainoo. He looks to be out of favor with current manager Ruben Amorim. I cannot tell why, because he was one of the most important figures for Manchester United before his arrival. But it's just difficult for him. And at the moment, it's Tottenham Hotspur trying to at least take a bit of trust up front from the far right hand side, sandwiched by 3 Manchester United players. There's a bit of cutting, and you can see Johnson very furious at the referee.
But it looked like a well-timed tackle from Patrick Dogu. He seemed to have gauged, for lack of a better word, gauged and tried to clear the ball at the right times. So the referee is spot on. It's not an infringement, and so play should continue. So far, Patrick Dogu has been one of the most important players in the live wire.
Well, hold on a bit, Soti. That's a big chance, but Tottenham Hotspurs, they've got the men. They've just got the men to deal with it.
Well, the break on the counter attack. It's Destiny Udogie, and he flips on the ball to Dominic Solanke, who has a chance. Yeah. Oh no, he misses. All he needed was one touch on the ball and then to shoot, and he would have beaten Andre Onana. Unfortunately, Solanke, if he had scored that goal, then there would have been a 2-0 cushion, and then Spurs would be comfortable, and then they would have been able to just defend. Dominic Solanke let his teammates down. If he had scored this goal, they would have been very comfortable. Let's look at something. When Amad Diallo got the chance in the Tottenham Hotspurs defense, guess who cleared that ball? It was Destiny Udogie. The next time in attack, in the counter situation, is still Destiny Udogie in that counter attack situation. So he's a very important player for them. And I think, in my view, in terms of man of the match performances or potential man of the match performances, I think Destiny Udogie is one player to look out for. Guillermo Vicario is also another player to look out for. And then maybe Brennan Johnson as well are the players to look out for. And so far, so good. Tottenham Hotspur seem to be biding their time and taking their chances. So far, so good. Twice they did that, and it's worked for them once. Dominic Solanke flapped his lines, and he had a glorious opportunity to help Spurs take the second lead and to extend it to a 2-0 lead and almost take it out of the reach of United. But hopefully we'll see how that goes for his club. Because unfortunately, if United should take a comeback and win this game, one player you could blame is Dominic Solanke there.
Well, so very exciting stuff there with Dominic Solanke, with very quality performance this evening. But yes, Manchester United, Amad Diallo down the right-hand side. He will have to go past the Brazilian international. But look, Richarlison is just too strong for the young man.
Now Richarlison is a left back. That's telling. Now Richarlison is helping Destiny Udogie to track back and make sure that Amad Diallo doesn't have any opportunity of a 1v1 against Destiny Udogie. And so it's great how Richarlison, an attacker who is even supposed to be a striker, who is playing as a winger today, now in the left back position, helping his teammate Destiny Udogie in the left wing back position. And very soon I'm expecting Tottenham to make a few changes and, if possible, bring Son Heung-min and bring one more defender. Well, Destiny Udogie once again at it, but Lenny Yoro making sure that he clears the ball and still keeps the deficit at just a goal down.
Well, Lenny Yoro in his lovely breaks, playing some exciting football this evening, running down that particular left channel this evening. But Richarlison lies on the turf, and he'll need a bit of help from the medical team. The referee, which is a German as well, ensuring or signaling that he's just in charge of the game, and he's also taking notice of the time of this incident. That is 64 minutes plus a few seconds that have been played as we head towards the 65th minute here. And you can see the exchanges between these players here happening in Bilbao. And in case you just joined us live on ABC News Ghana Television, it is Tottenham Hotspurs that is leading Manchester United by a goal to nil at the moment. And it is water break, looks to be a bit, it's not water break actually, it's that time for the players to have a bit of tete-a-tete with their managers on the touchline.
So they're using the opportunity with Richarlison's seeming injury to take a water break and take a few tactical instructions again and get back onto the pitch. I think there are concerns that Richarlison might be wasting time, but he seems to be quite serious because he's taking off his boots and checking his feet. But I think it's a thing with Brazilians. They tend to waste time when it matters most. And I think for Ant Postecoglou, it's all done for Richarlison Andrade. He's taking him off and bringing their skipper, Heung-min Son.
Absolutely.
66 minutes played. Heung-min Son replaces Richarlison Andrade. He's put in a very good shift, helping his left back, Destiny Udogie, to make sure that they prevent Amad Diallo from creating. Because if United is supposed to get anything out of this game, one player they're supposed to look out for is Amad Diallo. And so Richarlison put in a very good shape. Even though we didn't see a lot of work from him up front, he helped Destiny Udogie behind and making sure they did not concede. It's very important. Even with a goal, they could win the game. I would have loved to rather see him up top as a striker, but Ant Postecoglou knows better, and so that's good for him. A bit of an infringement clash between Udogie and Amad Diallo leaves Diallo slightly injured, but play continues. Spurs now controlling the game quietly. Bissouma gives the ball to Bentancur, loses it. Dogu gives the ball to Diallo. Diallo loses it, and it's an infringement in favor of United. And out of nowhere, Yves Bissouma ends a yellow card for a needless challenge.
Absolutely.
If it wasn't a challenge, just after the referee whistles, then he attempts to take the ball and he receives a yellow card. This doesn't help because from now, he can't make any crucial interception anymore for fear of getting a second yellow card. And so from now, Ange Postecoglou will need to be looking at his second substitution and a possible candidate, Yves Bissouma, not because he's bad, but because of the timing and his role in the game and how early he has received a yellow card.
Well, that's a long ball flighted to us. That would be a big chance for Manchester United, but what's a way to define it? €1.
Wow.
And you can just understand why.
Vicario flapped his lines in an aerial duel. Maguire had the chance to score, and there was an on-the-line clearance by a Tottenham player to keep the game at 1-0. Brilliant display from United, who seem to be very resilient and making sure that they are not done in the game yet. Well, that was a brilliant display. It was from a set piece. Vicario flaps his lines. Rasmus Højlund has the ball, and a Tottenham Hotspur player clears the line. Would try and get the player for you. Well, that's Mickey van de Ven.
Yeah.
He made sure he made an on-the-line clearance. It was almost headed for goal from Rasmus Højlund, and he lands on his waist. That's huge for Mickey van de Ven and for Tottenham Hotspur. It ensures that the Lily Whites have still taken a 1-0 lead against the Red Devils. He seems to be in a lot of pain. He's writhing in pain, but he, as a professional footballer, he marches on, and hopefully he's okay. Well, if he is injured and there's a possibility of substitution, there's a player like Kevin Danso here, there's a player like Jeff Spence, there's also a player like Ben Davies who could easily replace him. But it shows you how the game can easily change. Imagine that Rasmus Højlund has scored, then the temperature of the game would have changed. So that's why Solanke's chance, he should have taken that chance to make sure that they would have been 2-0 up by now. But there was also a warning to the goalkeeper, Guilherme Vicario, that he shouldn't
take his eyes off the
ball in any aerial duel. Because if I'm a United player now, I'd make sure every ball I target it at Vicario to see if once again he makes a mistake and then my player slots the ball. Maybe this time around there will be no player on there for the on-the-line clearance. So a brilliant display from United. They are showing some fighting spirit, trying to come back. But so far we've seen resilience from the perspective of Tottenham Hotspur.
Well, so it's 69 minutes. We're just a minute to hit the 70th minute mark. 20 minutes more to travel in Bilbao, and it's United in possession at the moment. It's brought back to Andre Onana within his own penalty area. Sports Leniero, who's moving into a bit of space there, flashed into the midfield. They'll be looking to pick out their captain, but they failed to pick him. Back to the men in white. It's a long drive onto the left-hand side, diagonally hits. But Tottenham Hotspur will try to put a bit of pressure.
Son Heung-min.
Son Heung-min. Brilliant play from Euro, and Manchester United are back in possession. But the referee have just whistled for an infringement, which means that United will try to see if they can push men up front. But whilst they do that, we've got substitution coming up with Garnacho.
Rasmus Højlund is out.
Certainly, with Garnacho getting
Joshua Zirkzee replaces him. We also see Alejandro Garnacho also on the touchline, which means that there's also a substitution expected from United. Which player that be? Mason Mount replaces, will be replaced by Alejandro Garnacho. So there's a bit of injection of firepower into the Manchester United attack. And we hope that Tottenham Hotspur can be resolute and make sure that they will be able to withstand the pressure from them. Also, Spurs, through the substitution from Heung-min, he's already showed a glimpse of what we should expect from him. He took the ball already, tried to shoot, but he was blocked. But already we know what to expect from him, even though he's had a few bit of injuries and other issues. But we all know the quality that Heung-min possesses, and
absolutely.
So we hope to see him.
One of the most dangerous players.
I think one of the most consistent wingers in the last 10 years. I think. For me, in terms of the left winger position, in a 4-3-3 position, for me, the most consistent in the last 10 years, I would give it to Heung-min.
Very consistent, very dangerous player. I mean, when we faced him in the World Cup, we also had dangerous. Yeah. Just a lovely ball there, and it just flied wide. And Manchester United once again playing their captain through Bruno Fernandes, but his header fails to hit the needed target. And Tottenham Hotspur surviving another major scare there. Nervy moment again for the men in a white set. But look at the bend on the ball. Absolute quality.
I'm only surprised as to how the Tottenham defense has now been opened up. You don't even see where the centre backs are because it was Pedro Porro who was marking Bruno Fernandes there. And that means that you don't know where the centre backs are. They need to start reorganizing their shape. I think Ange Postecoglou needs to be on his feet and start backing out instructions at centre backs, and that's Christian Romero and Mickey van der Ven. Or if there's any change, or there's any fatigue anywhere, or sense of fatigue, he needs to make any change. As there's already Ben Davies, there's Kevin Danso as well. There's Jess Spence. He's his spot for choice in terms of centre back options, and so once there's any sign of fatigue and tiredness, he should make the change because it might go a long way to affect him in the long run.
Well, so this is still watch along here on ABC News Ghana Television, and it is Sports World. And don't forget that this program is powered by the ABC Sports team as well as Betway. Betway rightly behind us with the Betway influencer package. If you want to be a Betway influencer, you don't need to be a celebrity. You just need to know how to select matches. Once you can select the matches, especially this particular game that is unfolding in Bilbao between Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspurs, you need to just select those two. Add other slips to it, games that are coming up over the weekend. When you do that, make sure you share your bet code with friends, family, even with church members, even if possible. Some pastors love football, isn't it? You can even share it with them. And once they bet with your code, they don't need to win. Or you don't need, your code does not need to win. The most important thing is that people have used it, and you could be on your way to earning a lot of cash. You can earn as much as 4% wager. You don't need to win. And don't forget that with the Betway influencer package, conditions do apply and also regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. You need to be 18 years and above. With Betway, you just get way more, only exclusive to Betway. The 74 minutes in Bilbao, and it's still the Lily Whites who are determining the pace of the game at the moment through Bernard Johnson's first half strike that they are hanging onto at the moment. And that was a lovely hit from Garnacho, but it's been slipped off, and they will have a corner kick at the moment with Manchester United's captain Bruno Fernandes electing himself to pick it from the far right hand side corner flag. Looks to be a long one from his demeanor, sensing a long one across, and again comes up those in the white shirt, but Amad Diallo rushed onto it, drags it back onto the right hand side to Bruno Fernandes. That's a lovely pass, isn't it, inside the penalty yard, but again brilliant defending from the Tottenham Hotspurs back line.
Yeah, that was Bernard Johnson there. Now it seems the pressure seems to be getting to Tottenham Hotspur. They need to restructure their defense there and see what they need to do. Either they need to make a change in Yves Bissouma because of his yellow card and bring in a new midfielder to inject some fresh life and fresh blood into well, United have a chance. Well, no, it's missed by Luke Shaw, and so now the changes from United seems to be showing, yielding the needed dividends. It's just left with the goal. Well, Tottenham have a chance for a counter-attacking situation. Heung-min Son on the ball is almost a 3v2 formation, but
I think Casemiro came to the rescue there.
Well, yeah, and so they've broken that, and so United still have the ball, and they are now.
But so it's a big question: are you ready for extra time? 75 minutes. We just left quarter of an hour to go. 15 minutes more left, and you can see United running from the left-hand side. That's another lovely tackle. But I see there's a bit of a complaint with emotion rising high.
The referee says it's a goal kick.
It's a goal kick.
I think United anticipated the referee would whistle for a penalty because it was very close to the edge of the box, and it was very close from Pedro Porro. One mistake could have been a penalty, and so well, it's a foul, but it's not in the box, and the referee doesn't think it's enough for an infringement, and so it's a goal kick. But that's a let off on Pedro Porro. He should be careful because the second time he might not be lucky twice, and so he needs to be on the lookout. He needs to watch the pace of the attacker before he puts his leg out in terms of trying to clear the ball. But so far so good from Tottenham. They are lining up to make a change, and I see Kevin Danso on the fringes, and so it's very likely that Kevin Danso will replace one of the centre backs, possibly Mickey van der Ven, because of the online clearance he made. He seems to be struggling on his down there around his waist, and so very much likely that Kevin Danso might replace Mickey van der Ven there. Yeah.
Well, so that's Maguire with possession for Manchester United. Drags it a bit down to Lenny Euro, and they are almost pushing up halfway line beyond it a bit. He's got a lot of options. Come down to the right-hand side. Amad Diallo back to Lenny Euro. Very tight space, just looking for options, isn't it? He still has it with his favorite right foot, brings it back to Lenny Euro, trying to see if they can orchestrate an onslaught from here. Bruno Fernandes, not the best of pass, hits Yus Bissouma and is out, decides to hit it onto the left-hand side where Luke Shaw is based. So Casemiro, lovely ball through the channel looking for Garnacho, but again it's been cut off. The supply has just been cut off. 77 minutes, and you can see these Tottenham Hotspurs fans are just waiting for that crazy moment to celebrate.
They are sitting on tenterhooks. A whole generation has not witnessed their club lift a European trophy, and so it will be huge for them to do that. Well, the change is being effected now. Kevin Danso is now being introduced into the game there. But it's interesting. It seems as if it's rather Brennan Johnson who is being replaced. So the goal scorer is rather being replaced. So I think the goal scorer, an attacker, is being replaced by a defender. So that's interesting. From Ange Postecoglou, instead of taking off another player, he decided to show up his defense rather. And in defense, Tottenham seem to be defending in a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-4-2 formation. Sometimes Heung-min-son joining up in the four-man midfield, or sometimes coming up as well. Right now, we could see clearly Dominic Solanke as the only one up top. Now, Bissouma is now in the number 10 position with the Heung-min-son also helping out there. Pape Matasar is also in advanced position there. And so it's almost a 5-4-1 or a 4-4-2 formation in terms of defending. So you can see clearly at this point, for Tottenham, it's about holding on and trying to get a second goal. Whilst for United, they are trying to open up Tottenham and get their first goal and then possibly try and change the result of the game.
It's about pressure from Ruben Amorim's men at this juncture. And there's Amad Diallo. There will be a lovely crossing from Casemiro looking for Garnacho and he's headed out. Will he stay on the turf? Possibly no. That will be Tottenham Hotspurs. Rather, Manchester United throwing advantage to be quickly taken. Well, a lot of messages have been pouring in, and we will get all those reactions for you at the moment. But for now, it's Tottenham who has to defend, and it's Manchester United who are itching closer to Tottenham's penalty area. Here's Amad Diallo down the left-hand side. Casemiro flicks it over, and is headed away. Garnacho, lovely touch there, brings it back to Harry Maguire, who'll find Casemiro.
For close to 80 minutes, United have been trying to flick in across to get a header to score, but it's almost as if it's impossible. And so far, they've been resolute in making sure that United have not gotten any considerable amount of chance in terms of set pieces or crosses from the wings. And so far, so good. Tottenham have been resolute so far. They seem to be defending very well in their blocks. They are now in a very low block. Initially, they started in a mid block and trying to pounce to the counter. Now that they've gotten the goal, it's now a very low block, hoping for a situation. And now that they've got Son Heung-min on the pitch, if a counter-attacking situation presents itself, they've got a player in Son Heung-min who can single-handedly move his way around. So far, so good. The United trying very hard to flick in crosses, but every cross they try to get in, it doesn't yield the needed results. One more cross, no one to be found, is onto the other end from Euro, goes to Garnacho, tries to give the pass to Fernandes, who has a chance to shoot, moves onto his left foot, his weaker foot, on to Garnacho, who tries to cross in the ball. Once again, interception from Tottenham Hotspur by Yves Bissouma, goes away into familiar territory. And once again, United have another opportunity for an attack. And so it's almost a situation of an attack against a defense constantly for the next 15 minutes. Bear in mind, we've got 10 minutes more of regular time and maybe a few more minutes of other time. Not a lot of...
Maybe less than 3 because...
Yes, not a lot of events have happened to slow down the game. And so possibly 2-3 minutes of other time. So possibly about 15 minutes or 30 minutes to be added very soon. So, Solanke...
in that lovely position.
Son Heung-min has a chance. Oh no!
But again, the Manchester United defense, I mean, they have just been very tactful at the moment. Even talking about possession, it's really now hugely in favor of Manchester United, who have been pressing, trying to see if they can break the deadlock. But it's just been very difficult for them. And in a few seconds, we'll look at a lot of reactions that is happening on Twitter at the moment regarding these two English Premier League teams. And as and when we have it, we are going to read those ones for you. But here are the Manchester United fans very excited. Well, they are losing, but they are confident that their team is going to get back. And so those are some of the reactions that have been trickling in. This one says that, this is from Mark, it says, this is by far the worst Europa League final of all time. Well, it's a snooze fest. well, Momae, and he says that Arsenal fans are just silent in this Europa League Champions League. Manchester United loses this game. They will start debating the achievement in comparison with the Arsenal. If Arsenal was not a bit clear with that, but I'm sure if he's saying if Arsenal was to be in the final, it could be a different scenario. There, this one is from Ego Over You, written boldly, and he says that Manchester United is finished. Oh, how true is that? Well, this one is coming from a very good friend, Motivates, RKNS Motivate. He says that, so understand, they are getting a lot of help from the ref. How is Ahmad the only player with a yellow card? Spurs should have had 3. Well, that is.
Now, Bissouma also had a yellow card.
Yeah,
as well,
I mean, yes. So, RKS Motivate, Bissouma have also had a yellow card. This is from OLT Sports. It says that Manchester United have set a new record for most chances conceded to opposing team, scoring the first goal within the first 45 minutes of a game in a single season across all competitions with 31 instances there. So we have the Twitter, will I say, Opata stats providers giving us a lot of stats there.
This stat, it means almost every time United concede a first goal, they end up losing the game or they don't win the game. And so if it's anything to go by, once they consider the first goal, it's very likely that per this stat, they are going to end up losing the game there.
But Soti, I'm sure you agree that you will have the game to stay this way a bit, because I saw you posted Tottenham Hotspurs. You said Vamos Tottenham Hotspurs.
Yeah, come on, you Spurs.
So this is also from Trey. Trey says, God, please, man. God,
you know,
please,
Trey is a United fan, and so.
And just look at the reply. This one says that is from Abochi fan. He says that leave God out of this. Wow. Then Saleh also says that you are now begging. Then Abochi says leave God out of this. Well,
you know, Trey is a very opinionated guy on Twitter and or on X, and he always goes after other fans. And so once his club is in the final against a less fancy Tottenham Hotspur, if he loses the final to Pereira and the Achievers, and then United will be the laughing stock, and he will be the subject of ridicule from a lot of people on X, and that's why he's begging there. But United have done a substitution. They've taken off Nosser Mazraoui, the Moroccan right back. They've brought on Diogo Dalot to replace him. Tottenham has
that's
a chance.
Lovely ball there, but his foot couldn't meet it.
Kevin Danso, he was on the receiving end of a cross from Son Heung-min. If he was able to get his foot in there, he would have scored Tottenham's second goal and make this victory almost assured now. But it's still a 1-0 in favor of Tottenham Hotspur. A goal scored in the 41st minute by Wales international Brennan Johnson there, with assist from Pape Matar, the Senegalese.
It's what they are still hanging on to, right? Soti, let's go to our message box, because a lot have been floating in. Let me quickly ask somebody, because I just saw somebody's interesting message. This is coming from John Evans. He says that, Charlie, I go beat you for read my message. So let me take the message. Well, this is from John Evans. He says that, look, I'm a United fan, but I've been impressed with what Ange Postecoglou have done this evening. Excellent play, excellent defensive shape as well. But let's see how we can break them down. We've got 10 minutes, so he sent this message back in some 10 minutes time. That is why I have to read that particular part. Well, this is coming from a lady, Efia Donuku. She's sending this one from Teshi, and she says that, look, I'm heartbroken. Well, interestingly, you know, it is only guys who give ladies heartbreak, but tonight football have also added it.
Well, it's good. Maybe once in a while they should see how it feels to be on the receiving end of things they do.
Wow.
Well, that's the beauty of the game. Once in a while, I think it's good for every young man to be for every young man's heart to be broken in terms of football.
Okay.
Football.
When your heart is broken,
yeah. If football, your club breaks your heart, it's good. because you learn a lot from that, and it molds you for life. So nothing else surprises you anymore.
But Ghana has broken our hearts on several occasions.
After twice now, I prepare myself mentally for everything. That in a game there are 3 outcomes: a win, a loss, or a draw. And in knockout games, is there a win or a loss? If we lose, we move on to the next thing. So I think it's good for every person to be, for every male, your heart should be broken by your club. Then it makes you quite formidable. It makes your outlook on life also easier for you. And it sets you up such that you're not surprised by anything that happens to you anymore.
Well, Soti, hold on a bit. Let's still do some of the few messages, then we'll take you back to Bilbao where the game is happening at the moment. Well, you go to Koforidia, and it is absolutely coming from Johnny Evans. Soti, interesting stuff there, lots of pushing happening.
Yeah, it's there's been an altercation between Christian Romero of Tottenham and then Harry Maguire of Manchester United. It's becoming very physical in there. It's about the 3rd time that both things are happening. It's almost getting to a melee between both players. And finally, Harry Maguire has been given a yellow card as well. So you could say Christian Romero has sort of succeeded in what he was doing. He was trying to get the Harry Maguire carded, and Maguire has been given a yellow card. I think Maguire let the emotions get the better part of him. Because it's not really anything, but some of these South American players are very good actors, and so Maguire just touched him a little, and then he's made a meal out of that. And so far, Maguire has been yellow carded to help dominate Sri Lanka, because in the next time there's a 1-1 between Sri Lanka and Maguire, and it will be very difficult for Maguire to go in on Sri Lanka. Well, I see a blind fan in the stadium enjoying himself. That's good. That's the beauty of football. For someone who cannot even see, he seems to be enjoying and basking in the atmosphere. And I can see Kobe Mainoo on the touchline warming up. So expect a change from United with Kobe Mainoo. I also see Jet Spence also warming up. Archie Gray also on the touchline. So 2 substitutions from Tottenham Hotspurs. Jet Spence and Archie Gray expected to come up very shortly. Kobe Mainoo expected also to come up for United. But who they replace? So Pape Matasar Wood is coming off to be replaced by Archie Gray in the midfield, and then Jet Spence would also come off, and we don't immediately know his problem. Maybe it's Christian Romero who's just is wrestling in pain.
But Soti, a big question: have you really seen Pape Matasar in today's Europa League final? I think that given his quality that we've seen of Pape Matasar, even at the African Cup of Nations, he's not really impressed his authority in today's game. I don't know what you think about that. It's a bit debatable, but I think Spence is getting ready to come in. And also, interestingly, we are inching towards the 90th minute mark. Yeah. We've already crossed the 34 seconds, and it tells you that we just have a few seconds to end this particular game in normal time, 90 minutes of normal time. And the German referee, we could be at his mercy, especially for the Manchester United fans who will be begging that he adds loads of time. But for the Tottenham Hotspurs fans, they will hope that he adds just 2 or 3 minutes so that they are able to bask in the glory of the 1983-1984 season. And of course, the Agafa, Angie Postecoglou will be a very, very excited man. So 90 minutes is up anyway. Yeah, so I think I anticipate about 5, because of the final and the magnitude of this final, I think he will add about at least 4 minutes, not more than 4, not less than 4. I don't think more than 5, because nothing major has happened. He has surprised you 7 minutes. That's interesting, because not a lot happened. And if anything should go wrong and should United equalize, I'm not sure the Spurs technical body and playing body very happy, because it's as if the United have been rewarded with more minutes to see if they can get a goal out of this situation and finally win the game. I think someone is unhappy, and the referee is going to card a player or someone a member of the technical bench. I think that's Victor Lindelof on the bench for United, has been yellow carded, who is visibly expressing his frustration and his misgivings with the 4th official there, and so the center referee has made sure to ensure discipline by giving a yellow card to Victor Lindelof, who's expected to leave the club at the end of the season. He's leaving as a free agent over there. We are in the first minute of the 7 minutes of extra time. The ball is with Garnacho. He gives the ball to Diego Dalot. All Spurs 10 players are behind the ball in a low block, almost in a 5-5-0 formation. Joshua Zexi has the ball to Amad Diallo on the right side.
Spurs almost broke into a counter-attacking situation. They've lost the ball to Heung-min Son again, who's lost the ball to Lenny Yoro, back to Diogo Dalot, tries to flick in the cross, but almost likely, nothing comes out of it.
It's been dealt with. It's a
goal kick.
But again, just look at the man who have come into the field, Harry Maguire.
So at this point, this is the only hope for the club. Remember against Lyon as well, when all hope was lost, Maguire from nowhere was in the thick of affairs in the centre forward position, trying to head in the ball, and he did. In fact, he had a better of the ball. He got the ball before Kevin Danso, but luckily he headed in the wrong direction, and so Spurs have been left off the hook. There was Casemiro also in the picture there, so clearly you could see in terms of aerial duels now. The plan is to get Lenny Yoro in the box, to get Harry Maguire in the box, to get Casemiro also in the box. We could see a United fan crying because already anticipates sorrow and anguish and ridicule coming up 16th in the Premier League and missed out on Europe to perennial underachievers Tottenham Hotspurs, who can have all that bad press changed in the next 6 minutes. Now we are in the second minute of extra time, of other time, I beg your pardon. We are heading almost to the third minute. That's silence for United fans. And there's absolute excitement and pandemonium in the stands of the Tottenham Hotspur fans. It was a whole generation about to experience what it means to support Tottenham Hotspur and what it means to win a European trophy.
So to hold on a bit because exciting stuff, and so we'll be activating the phone lines right after the game. We've done 3 minutes of the 7 minutes that have been added on. So if you want to reach us, I think the numbers are clearly displayed on your screens there. That's 053 91 61 609. I take the numbers again. The call lines once again is 053 91 61 609, and we will be glad to hear what you think of this Europa League final happening in Bilbao, where Ghanaian international Inaki Williams applies his trade. And so that's Amad Diallo. Ball flicks onto him, comes to the right hand side. He's got a lot of options. Benson inside. That's a lovely ball, but again, it's Spurs who rises to the occasion. Cuts it away. 11-man defending.
Harry Maguire nearly had a chance, so you could see clearly that always seems to work for them. Every time they flick the cross, Harry Maguire seems to be the one who is on the receiving end or the one who is the target. And Spurs are sitting on tenterhooks by now because they're almost as if they've been holding on for long, but this last few minutes is they cannot hold on any longer. United on the attack again. They've broken it down. Back again to Lenny Yoro, to Bruno Fernandes, who attempts a shot, passes the ball to Garnacho, who tries to cross the ball, but he's out. He lacks space. Lenny Yoro with a shot. Way off target.
Absolutely. I'll be very disappointed if Tottenham Hotspur let in that ball, because we are just, I think, 2 minutes and a few seconds away from a historic night for Tottenham Hotspur. And just look at the shot that was driven across. Powerful one. Amad Diallo spotting his Harry Maguire, but again, Kevin Danso in the mix there to avert the danger. Read it well, and he just clears the line.
You could say if not for Kevin Danso, that was headed in, because Harry Maguire would have just headed it straight in onto the onrushing Guillermo Vicario there. So Spurs have been saved by their defender Kevin Danso there, who just joined the club in January from AC Lens in France and has a chance to win a Europa League. That's big for him.
Very big.
And hopefully, after winning the Europa League, he gets to come to Ghana and present the trophy to his ancestors and to his relatives in Ghana as well.
But it's disappointment that he's not playing for the Black Stars.
That's a conversation we can have for another day.
Another day, but it's the 5 minutes. We've done 5 minutes and then a few seconds of the 7 minutes that have been added on. Amad Diallo back to Diego Dalot. That's a lovely killer into the channel. Harry Maguire, a lot of them at the back of it. There's a lovely ball. Maguire driving through the traffic of bodies by the referee.
United are asking for a penalty, but the referee is having none of that. The ball goes all the way back to Andre Onana, who is almost at the center circle of the post. He gives the ball to Bruno Fernandes, who misses his line, but luckily the ball goes to Lenny Yoro. All 10 players of Spurs are behind the ball now.
This could be a last opportunity. Yes, down. But again, let's remind our viewers that we'll be activating the phone lines right after the final whistle from the German referee, and you can call us on the number 053 91 61.
Wow, United had a big chance.
But they
great save from Vicario there.
They missed it. They are now playing halfway line is Lenny Euro.
Well, Amad Diallo there once again trying to flick in across, gives the ball to Diogo Dalot, crosses again. Well, the ball goes all the way to Bruno Fernandes, who is 40 yards from crosses the ball. And oh no, Mickey van der Ven prevents Joshua Zexi from having a 1v1 against the goalkeeper. Diogo Dalot wanted a corner, but it's a goal kick in favor of Tottenham Hotspur. He tried to cross the ball, it hits the opponent and hits him before traversing the goal line. So it's a goal kick in favor of Tottenham Hotspur with less than 2 minutes.
And just look at the save coming from Vicario. I mean, that is a proper life wire.
Well, instead of a corner, instead of a goal kick, the referee seems to have missed it and has awarded a corner to Manchester United. If you look at it carefully, it should have been a corner, but Andre Onana has moved from the goalpost to the opponent's yard to try and salvage a last-minute goal for his club. Let's see how that goes. Onana in there. Oh no. Oh no. Well, Onana tries to salvage a goal for his club. Unfortunately, it doesn't end well for him, and it's a goal kick for Tottenham Hotspur. We've gone 50 seconds past the 7th minute mark, and any moment from now, when the ball is flagged in by Guillermo Vicario, Tottenham Hotspurs will be announced as the 2025 winners or champions of the UEFA Europa League and earns them a place in the Champions League for the 2025-2026 season. Well, the last minute tactics there. Destin Udogie sits on the floor trying to waste time, but there's no need to waste time as of now because now we've gone past the 7th minute mark. We are now 8 minutes and 20 seconds. We could see tears of joy from Tottenham Hotspur fans. Well, it's over. Tottenham Hotspurs have won the 2025 UEFA Europa League trophy. Andre Postecoglou has delivered. As he said, he always wins in his second year in every club. He's delivered a trophy for Tottenham Hotspur. Disappointment for Ruben Amorim. Look at the big managers who have managed Tottenham Hotspur. Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte. They failed to deliver a trophy for Tottenham Hotspur. Finally, Tottenham Hotspur, after 17 years without a trophy, have finally had their hands on the UEFA Europa League. Big news for Ange Postecoglou. Whether he's sacked tonight, he's in the history books for the club. Their third ever UEFA Cup or their third ever Europa League. Big news. The only goal scored by Brennan Johnson there. Big news for Africa. The interest is Pape Matar and Yves Bissouma winning. So we've got two African winners in terms of the UEFA Europa League. Yves Bissouma there and Pape Matar, a Senegalese and a Malian there. Big story, big impact on the careers of these players. We hear they are even chasing some Ghanaian players like Antoine Semenyo there. Once they've won and they're heading into Champions League next season, it will be a big impact in trying to get a lot of players to join them. Big news for Tottenham Hotspur, 17th in the Premier League, have won the UEFA Europa League and have earned a place in next season's championship. For United, the bad story, the bad train continues.
Well, absolutely, Soti there. Well, a lot of messages have been trickling in, and also the phone lines are now fully activated. We want to hear from you where you are watching from, what you think of Tottenham Hotspur's win tonight against Manchester United. And as for the celebration, it will be a lot of galore, celebration galore all over in Tottenham. Even in London tonight, right?
Yeah.
Well,
London.
Last three, if you have some caller on the line. Hello. Well, so we are still trying to get some of the fans to talk to, but we've got a message here, and this is coming all the way from one of the fans. He has not added his name, but he says that, hi, Tottenham will win by 2-1. Already, it's absolutely, you've lost it, and others as well. Well, so hello, please. Who are we speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, please. I can hear you. Please, how are you doing this evening?
Good evening.
What do you make of the game? Tottenham Hotspurs outclassed Manchester United tonight in Bilbao. What was your general impression of the game?
It was a fantastic game, and I'm so happy because I have a United friend at home right now, and I'm going to laugh at him. I'm very happy that Tottenham was able to win this title. I'm so happy.
But which team do you support? Are you a Tottenham Hotspurs fan, or you are from those?
He's an supporter.
Associates, or how do you call them?
Against supporters
union. Are you part of the ASU?
I'm a Real Madrid fan.
Los Blancos forever.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on Sports World. Yeah, go on. All right, so we've lost him there, but I think his opinion has been well made. He says that he's excited that Tottenham Hotspurs have been able to win tonight against Manchester United. But I was also trying to bring you up to speed with some of the messages that have flooded our phones tonight. This one, so we have another caller on the line. Hello, good evening. Please, where are you calling from?
Hello, I'm calling from Kappa.
Okay, please. Tell us your name and how excited you are tonight.
I'm not excited right now. My name is Lee.
Oh, so I didn't get you very well.
You're not excited?
My name is Lee. I'm not excited right now.
Oh, you're not excited? Then I suspect you belong to the Red Devils.
I'm just disappointed. I'm going away. This is what we get. After horrendous, couldn't even cap it up with the title.
Sorry, I really share your pain. But have you done the betting with Betway? Have you used the Betway influencer tonight? Because even though Manchester United have lost, even if you betted with Betway and share the code, you still be earning some cash. At least that will compensate you. Did you bet with Betway tonight?
That's over the week.
Okay, don't worry. I'll share some codes with you so that you become a Betway influencer. But sorry for your loss anyway.
Okay, thank you. Good show, though. Good show. I'm enjoying it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Here is the station of the nation as far as sports is concerned. Just, tag along with us on every Wednesday and even with our other programs as well. Yeah, and you'll be very excited. Well, thank you very much, and this is where we have to leave it. But we have another caller on the line. Please, hello, good evening to you. Where are you calling us from?
Hello, I'm Clifford from Asherman.
Okay. So, first of all, with your tone, are you a Manchester United or Tottenham Hotspurs fan?
Tottenham preferred.
Oh, and the way you are talking, it looks like the Betway have done a business for you tonight.
Come on, you can speak for it.
All right. So tell us how excited you are about today's game.
I'm really excited because I knew everything was going to be on my side, and like I've won my double win.
So he's won money and his club has won.
Yes,
that's big. That's
good news, and the family will enjoy this this weekend. But don't forget that we'll share codes at the end of the show so that we'll fill your pocket more with Betway. So just hang on for us. Well, so we do have still active callers on the line. Hello, good evening, sir or madam. Please, where are you calling from?
Good evening. I'm calling from Dansoman.
Okay, DC. Which part of DC are you?
I'm at actually I'm new here, so I don't actually know the place.
All right. But so tell us about the game. Are you excited? Are you sad?
Charlie,
tell us about the game, yeah.
What am I you put it do? What am I you put it do, Charlie? See, it will never we will commit suicide.
But Betway will save you. Don't worry, Betway will save you. You cannot commit suicide. Betway will save you.
Why Betway will save me?
Oh,
I know they beat me. They give correct odds, but Charlie, this time around I will take some other this thing be stake with Charlie. Oh, you know.
All right, don't worry. Just hang on. At the end of the show, we'll give you the code, the winning code.
If you
Charlie, see, I beg you, make we dissolve United team and take the women's fellowship. I beg you.
All right. So that's a very good friend from Dan Suman, and it's a very interactive show, and you can still call or join us via the number 053 91 61 069, and we'll be glad to speak to you. But as we try to pick more calls, let's also bring you up to speed with some messages that have been floating. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
Oh, good evening. Good evening, please. Your vim seems to be down.
Hello.
Good evening to you. Please, what's your name? Yeah, we are struggling to hear you. Can you amplify your voice a bit for us? Well, it seems our caller wants to listen to himself as he speaks to her, but with his tone, you can tell he's a Manchester United fan. Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Good evening, sir. Very confident voice there. Please, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is. I'm calling from Tantra Hills.
All right, Tantra Hills. You're on top of the hill tonight. Are you a Manchester United fan or Tottenham Hotspurs fan?
None. But I like to see United always losing. So I'm happy.
So you are sad.
Yeah.
But did you bet? Did you have the chance of going over 1.5 or even over 0.5 for the game?
No, I didn't have the chance to bet.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't be sad. Yeah. Your worries are over with Betway. Just hang on. When we are about ending the show, I'll give you an exciting code to bet.
Great. I'll be expecting it.
Thank you very much for joining us. So we have a lot of calls, but we can't pick all of them at this time. And so let me give you a bit of 2 messages, and then we'll go for the Betway oddball, and then we call it a wrap on tonight. Sports World. This one says that Manchester United will win by 2-0. Abdul Raul from Asukwa in the Eastern region. I'm sorry. You are the other side tonight. So producer, let's have our Betway oddball. So there's another active caller on the line. Producer says I should pick. Hello, good evening. Please, where are you calling us from? Hello, sir. Well, we are struggling to get him. Yeah, so it's now time for Soti, 30 seconds, your general impression of the game, and then we go for the Betway oddball.
Tottenham Hotspurs delivered just like I expected them to do. I'm happy for Pape Matassa and Yves Bissouma, Africans there. I'm happy for Heung-min Son. After 10 years with Tottenham, finally he's laid his hand on the trophy. Hurricane left in search of a trophy. He's got it Bayern Munich, but Son stayed. He has been loyal to the club, and finally, the heavens and providence has rewarded Son's loyalty with one trophy, a very important trophy, the Europa League trophy. I hear we have our colleague James Onyeba Makion.
Yes.
Joining us.
I think before James called, I think we have another caller again. We would have to pick this one. Hello, good evening, please. Your name, where you are calling us from tonight? Hello, sir. Well, yes, please. Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. Oh, this is a sweet voice. That should be a lady. Which team do you support, Manchester or Tottenham Hotspurs? Which team do you support?
Manchester.
Oh, and you have lost? Well, the lady is a bit sad this evening, though her call came through. But let's go to Zoom because our colleague James Onyeba Makion is on standby Zoom. Just 1 minute, as an Arsenal fan, the ASU supporters have won tonight.
I'm sure he's about to lament on a lot of things, how this final was unattractive and a whole lot of things. I don't know the season, the Arsenal is going trophyless whilst being second in the Premier League. And what does that end in? A place in next season's Champions League.
Absolutely.
Tottenham 17th. Just a point above the relegation places. They and Arsenal will be in the same competition next season.
And there's a trophy. Absolutely. Well, James, can you hear me?
Victor, I can hear you very clear.
So how do you feel tonight? Tottenham Hotspurs have lifted it in Bilbao. I'm sure you are full of smile because it has worked to plan.
Tell Soti that he should check his facts well. Arsenal have 2 European titles. In fact, you Victor yourself, you can check it. There's not now about. In fact, we have one of the golden trophy when it comes to European football, world football at large. Invincibles, nobody has done it. Manchester United wanted to replicate that this evening. But how do you have just 5 points, 9 points in 5 months, and want to win the title? God is not a left you. Charlie, continue.
Well, so that is James. Unfortunately, we'll have to cut off James due to being hard pressed with time. But Totti rightly mentioned that James is just about lamenting and selling the old stories of Arsenal.
Honestly, I want to cede all my time to James to just let it all out. He should register all his displeasure and all the things he's not happy about.
The Madrid should not also say that they have 15 UEFA champions because they started winning it in 1963.
No, but wait, since
So
they changed the name to Europa League and Champions League, what have you won?
No, even ask them when was the last time they won a trophy. Ask them when was the last time.
Oh, for now we don't want to win any trophies.
Serious?
Well, this must be a disappointed Arsenal fan. A disappointed one for that matter. James, it's nice seeing your face tonight. At least you have joined us in this watch along. And it is now time to take that important part of this entire program, which you know, that is the Betway Oddball that is brought to you by Betway. Betway, nice package for you, the Betway influencer. And I'll keep on encouraging you that, look, you don't need to be an influencer. You don't need to be a celebrity. All you need to do is just to select matches from the weekend games and even tonight games and even a long sleep. Just make sure you share the code to your friends, family, your pastor, your loved ones, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, everybody. Make sure they bet. You don't need to win. That code does not need to win. All it matters is that somebody have used it in betting with Betway. And we are saying that that particular package is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. And also, be reminded that terms and conditions do apply. Betway, you need to get way more. Now, let's have our picks for tonight.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
It's time for the Betway Oddball. What I promised most of our callers that we should just wait for the end of the show. We have the master sleep, and that master sleep have been carefully crafted for your use there. And so we have Milan. Very soon we'll see it on the screen, but we have Milan that will take on Monza. We say that that particular game is blank because there is a particular pick you need to enjoy there. So that is it. That is the master sleep for you for the weekend. This game is all the way from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So AC Milan versus Monza. That pick is blank. You need to look out for the Betway booking code. Fulham versus Manchester City. We say it's a straight win for the citizens there. We say Ipswich Town versus West Ham. That pick is also blank as well. But don't forget, Ghanaian international Kudus will be in action for West Ham. Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. We say over 1.5, meaning 2 goals and beyond. We say Atalanta versus Parma. That pick is also blank as well. Girona versus Atletico de Madrid. We say that it is over 1.5. 2 goals. We also say Atletico Bilbao, where the team that is host to the stadium where Tottenham Hotspurs won tonight. They are taking on Barcelona. That pick is also blank as well. Then the last pick, it is Bournemouth versus Leicester City. That pick is also blank as well. And the most important thing is that you need to look for the booking code, which is 1E, that is 1E339C5F. Once again, the Betway booking code that you need to look out for tonight is 1E339C5F, and you will laugh over the weekend. That is it. Also, that is the Betway booking code, and this is where we need to drop the curtains down on tonight. Watch along that we brought you all the way from Spain, Bilbao, between Tottenham Hotspurs and Manchester United. In full time, it is Manchester United that lost to their arch rivals, Tottenham Hotspurs. There, Brennan Johnson's goal making the clear difference. And Toti, nice to have you on the show tonight.
It's good to do this watch along. Hopefully, we do that subsequently. I think next week is the Conference League final between Chelsea and Real Betis, so that will also be a good one as well. I totally enjoyed this. It was beyond my expectations. Yeah.
All right, so that is Soti for you. Just simple words, and this is how we close the show. Simple close. Thank you to the production team led by the man himself, Mr. George, and also that is the executive producer, Godwin, IC, Enoch, everybody. Thank you very much. And even Solomon, I nearly forgot him for doing the business tonight. Thank you. It's a wrap. Good evening.